6, which is the latest one. Sorry, David, you're going to have to... Now, with this, because we're connecting to TFS, which is on your actual production domain, you need to use your LAN group user account.
Okay.
Yeah, but everywhere else in this environment, you're just using the domain accounts that are on this virtual machine. But because we're going out, this is the only place you actually go outside of the box, and that's because you want to be able to connect to your Team Explorer up here and get all these things. So we're not actually going to bother adding this one to source control. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go add new project, and you'll notice that now there's this new thing called Wisp Builder at the bottom. Now by default it's going to chuck all this stuff in here, which is fine, but what I would recommend is on your C drive is there's a source file, and all of these map to actually I can clean that up now because I've checked that in. All these will map to stuff in TFS, so everyone should be using C source, and then that maps to your TFS project. So if I show you Team Explorer quickly, okay, that one maps to that because that's the only one I've pulled down, and that's how you should handle all your stuff. But what I also do is, for just kind of play around stuff, is I just have a scratch folder like that, and rather than kind of like putting them in temp folders and losing them, because you always want to come back to them and they're only small, I just tend to always do that. So you can see here, if I just come in here and go C:scratch, and we'll just call this web part wisp project. We're not going to edit the source control. So now you'll see that that's in the scratch folder, and the solution will open. So this is a Wisp Builder project, so I can actually come in here now and go build, and that will build me a Wisp based on what's in my solution. So if I then have a look in that folder at my Wisp, you'll see it's there automatically. But what I can do is, if I open up Central Admin and have a look in Solution Management, at the minute we're all fine and dandy, there's none in there. What I can do is, from Visual Studio, I can go deploy, and Wisp Builder will actually go, right, well that Wisp that was just built, I'm going to actually install and deploy that within that farm. Now the power of that is,
Detects that farm is on your same.
yeah, because so that's in there, and it's not, it's deploying. So if I refresh this, I'll keep pushing
It's
on.
the same as SDM commands when you deploy.
Yeah, it's actually using that in the background. Okay. Yeah. So once that's done,
Nice framework.
sold. Where do I sign? He says. Where do I sign? Okay, so when it's done that, and I think the first few years in a brand new environment do take a bit longer because it's having to build the tables in the background in SQL, which you guys don't see. There you go. So every time you do a solution deploy, you're going to get an iOS reset. So don't panic if that happens. Just refresh, and you're basically pulling it up. Oh, yeah, most definitely. Yeah, definitely. Right, so and this is the only pain with SharePoint, right? Is you want to deploy anything, you do have this uninstall the Wisp, delete the Wisp from the farm, or sorry, you do a retract and then a delete, and then you do an add, and then you do a deploy, and then you activate your features, and then you can start again. So I'll show you once this is done. There is a quicker way of doing this. So this is done, right? So that's deployed now, but there's nothing in that Wisp package, absolutely nothing. So what we want to do is I want to add a web part. So I go add new item. Same deal, just like you had with the project. There's a Wisp Builder thing, and I want to build a web part with a feature, and we're just going to call this test web part. Now, yeah. So because it's creating a feature, you want to make sure that you always deploy web parts at site collection level. You can't actually delete them at any other level. And it's always important when you're naming features, just out of habit, just don't use spaces. Really highly recommend that, because you just keep yourself out. No, leave just camel casing like that. Yeah. So now you'll see that's actually created me a web part. So it's given me all the plumbing for that. It's already done that for me, and given me my public key tokens, so I don't have to worry about the namespace stuff. And if you look in the web part code, what it's actually done for me already is it's given me a blank property to use, and it's allowed me to, it's actually adding literal. So I'm just going to grab, oh actually no, that's a good demo of that. So if I do a build on that now, that compiles the C# project, and you can see here now that that WIS file has actually added all those bits into that I've just added. So you can see that there's now a DLL in there because of the fact I've got a C# piece of code in there. And what it's doing is it's also enforcing a certain structure within each of your source safe project. Source safe, that's a bad habit. Into your Visual Studio projects. So all of your C# code sits in a different code folders. Anything that's going in the 12 hive actually represents a 12 hive. So now I can deploy that. And what that'll do, and this is while that's doing that, I'll just do this, is really handy thing to do is go program files, common files, Microsoft shared web server extension.